Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I recently unboxed my Knipex, these 8201-200 5-position twin grip pliers, and I was thinking about them, playing around with a few kind of basic tasks to see. The screw extraction is amazing. It's got a couple of extra features I'll go over. Also, it's got, you know, this tiny little gripping area here for small nuts, this larger one here. But I started thinking, you know what? Knipex has been going after the small plier market as well and has some amazing offerings. So I thought I'd view these from what might, through the lens from what might come in the future. First of all, a couple of quick demonstrations here. This nut here is 1.25 inches in diameter. Now the grip is pretty spread out. It's a little hard to hold unless you got, big mitts. But this is an example. So you saw that one. Here's the small snap-on plier, the 46 ACF. Can easily grab that nut, although it's at a pretty good angle, so slippage is a possibility here. Here's the little snap-on adjustable wrench. This is the ADHW6. This is their I think it's 6 inches, and their wide angle, or wide jaw. Love this thing. And that can easily grab it and go a little bit wider. Obviously, if we go into the Cobras, they grab it very well, incredibly well. Look at that lock in. You're not going to slip at all. This is amazing for just a small Cobra plier like that. That's 180 millimeters versus 200. And then Snap-on, their plier wrenches produce just an amazing ability to grab these larger sized nuts or bolts with flat surfaces here. Just lock them in with their camming action. But, and then of course here's Snap-on's big kind of monstrous 49 ACF, that has absolutely no trouble grabbing something like that. But let's take a look at something here. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And this guy, look at this little set of tools. This is a little small Milwaukee bag. Let's open it up and pull out. So we've got our screwdriver with integrated bits on board. We've got a pipe wrench. Got another small driver there. Got a 18 millimeter. It's a prop because I don't know what fits 18 millimeters. Little pry bar, or a seal removal tool pry bar. Little no clown car tricks here. This is all coming out of here. Snap-on ratchet. Actually, these are the actual original vice grips. What those are worth. Here's one of the Knipex little mini pliers. Whoops. Van plier. Screw extraction. Electrostatic discharge pliers. This Vera stubby bit driver. Blue point adjustable wrench. Snap-on Talon grip needle nose. Here's the small Knipex plier, or plier wrench. Here's a little Snap-on. This guy is, what is that thing? 44 ACP. Here's the Knipex little tiny one, the 8701-125. Super handy, all in this gigantic tool bag that can fit in the palm of my hand. Anyway, let's take a look at these in particular, because Knipex has been producing lately these tiny pliers. And this one had months back ordered. People want these things. It's become the kind of the everyday EDC. They had some redesigns in their mechanism to allow them to make such a small plier, but still, not quite there, but it does it. I mean, if you didn't have to torque it very hard, And then if you get to, you know, little smaller things, this one here looks like it's about 3/4 of an inch maybe, you know, no problem, all day long. So if you even just had to snug it up, nylon nuts, but other sizes are fine. So let's imagine, what if I threw these in the dryer, you know, on high for a little too long and they shrunk down into something in this form factor. Now this is a 125, this is a 200, so basically you're cutting it darn close to in half. Little larger, but still. And then you shrunk that head down. And you shrunk that down a little bit, which this is still definitely worthwhile. This tiny little plier here with the screw extraction. You could see that, no problem. So we keep that. We keep these in their actual size even, maybe a little smaller, in a nice big kind of beak like that. Might have to change this, but Knipex has proven that you can retain, in this size anyway. If you go down to this one, this is actually half. Here is a 1/2 model, so we could do that one as well. Half scale. If we shrunk that down, everything's halved. We'd have to go to a different design. I'm not sure how well that would work, but I'm sure they could figure it out. But if they did this plier in this configuration, I'm starting to think that may be, you know, the plier not just of the decade here, but the plier of the century. Because I'm still grabbing this a lot. There's many things that don't work well with this jaw design. You want it going straight out the front. You're trying to get into a, you know, a tight space. It's very difficult, you know, with this angle, 45 degrees offset, trying to reach in and grab something, twist it. So this has merit. If you see, this is a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. So this is probably like 110 maybe. So definitely really close. Now shrink this Knipex head down into this profile. Keep that elongation here, which is, I think, what makes this, I mean, look at that. Compared to, you know, a regular profile. This one's the big one, but if you look at how those bow out, it's almost a constant acceleration in width. Whereas this, it actually shrinks down. You could almost imagine you could go in one way and then turn it and have just a tiny little area here. In fact, that's about how wide you could get it. Wonder what it does. Look at that. If you could get inside and open it up, maybe. I don't know. I can see some unusual uses for this, and that's my challenge right now. But anyway, as I look at this and think, man, if they did that, produced a small one of these, you know, which I know they can, and I know they have the desire to do it, I think that would be the end-all of the EDC pliers, at least in my lifetime. I can't imagine a better one so far. But anyway, that's my thought here, and especially because these small tools get used all the time. Most of the world doesn't need 100 foot-pounds of torque. Needs, you know, a nice snug hand tighten fasten. And then this particular shape, I think, would be an exceptionally good form for a micro plier, a little tiny plier. So let's wait and see. Maybe Knipex will have a Christmas present for all of us in a mini twin grip plier. So Knipex, please, for me, do that. With that, Doc out.